What's up there, gamers? Sweet Johnny Cage here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick little review of Ikaruga for the Xbox 360 Live Arcade. Ikaruga was originally released back in 2001 in Japanese arcades using the Naomi system, which was produced by Sega. That's really just for arcade nerds like me to know. It was then ported to the Dreamcast and then the GameCube later on in the decade. This game was actually released on April 9th of this year on the Xbox. This game features completely upgraded graphics. You could actually play it in HD if you have HD connections for your 360. This game is the would-be sequel to another top-down shooter called Radiant Silvergun. They were both made by the Treasure Company, as it says in the beginning. In the arcade version, in the credits scroll, it's referred to as Project RS2, which most people interpret as Project Radiant Silvergun 2, but it is called Ikaruga. Surprisingly, there actually is a storyline for this game. The story is basically, there's a group of people who are using the power of the gods, calling themselves the Divine Ones. They're using this power to take over the world. Shinra is a fighter pilot who is the sole survivor of one of their attacks. He was nursed back to health, given the ship called the Ikaruga, and swore his revenge on Horai, which was the guy who originally discovered the power of the gods. Ikaruga's gameplay is simple, but not for long. It basically consists of just shooting everything that's coming at you. But your ship has two different sides, two different polarities. You have to switch between the two to absorb the corresponding colored bullets, as it's being shown in the video right now. If black bullets are coming at you, switch to the black side, and you'll absorb all these bullets and your energy will increase. Then if blue bullets start coming at you, simply flip to the blue side, absorb those, and then your energy will increase even more. When it's full, or even if it's not full, you could release it. There's two different ways to release it. You can either assign it a button for release, or if you have the polarity plus fire enabled, if you press the two buttons at once, it'll release it. Releasing the energy causes a massive attack wave on your enemies. If you're facing a boss, it'll just concentrate on the nearest attack point of the boss, and pretty much just lessen his health a great deal, or it'll destroy as many enemies as possible in the area, which is great when things get really hairy. Now, playing through the first level is not that hard. First level is obviously the easiest level, but as soon as the first level is done, the game gets incredibly difficult. I'm not going to lie and say that this game is easy. It's not. It's probably one of the hardest games I've ever played in my life. But you know what? The more you play, the more you unlock. And that's pretty much the only way to unlock stuff aside from beating the game multiple times. It records your hourly progress. If you play for 5 hours, you unlock one thing, 10 hours another, all the way up to, I believe, 50 hours of gameplay. And trust me, you probably will play this game for more than 50 hours. As I said before, this version of Ikaruga features massively upgraded graphics, arcade-perfect gameplay, and online features. Now, for those of you who are wondering about lag online, the lag is bearable, but sometimes it renders the game unplayable. I've also noticed a decent amount of input lag, and I'm using a wired joystick to play this game. I'm using the Hori EX2 joystick for the 360. If you want to check that out, there's a link to the right of this video inside of the video description. That's a wired controller. Now, on a wireless controller, there normally is a little bit of input lag, but for a wired controller, there should be zero. Online is co-op. There is no such thing as versus mode in this game. It's all co-op, which is fun. If you and a buddy want to play this game, it's very easy to pick up. And online games are fully customizable, as is a single-player game. One of the things that I noticed about this port of Ikaruga is the credit system. Now, on a platform like the 360, you have, a decent-sized hard drive on there, so you should be able to save replays. This is a very cool feature of this port of Ikaruga, but if you have replay saving enabled, you can't use continues. Now, that's a little annoying considering the difficulty of this game. However, if you turn off replays, then you can turn on the continue system, which is always good. But if you do have replays enabled, you have to beat the game on one shot. No continues. You do have a few lives, but you have to beat it in one shot. Another very good system of customizing is the control system. As you can see here, this is the control menu. There are only 3 controls in this game. So, it's fairly basic. There's a fire control, polarity control, and a release control. Now, as I said before, I was using a joystick to play this game, and, this menu came in handy. I was able to pick the exact button that I wanted each thing to do, and you could even combine buttons. or even disable them. So, just in case your finger slips, it doesn't matter. The button's not going to do anything. So, I mean, for somebody like me who's a true arcade rat, I go to arcades every weekend, this was a very cool feature for me to have. Another really cool, very minute feature that I really liked, and it just shows how arcade perfect this game really is the fact that when you defeat a boss, the game lags a bit. Like, the game itself lags, and, there's a huge explosion, and the game just kind of slows up. That's pretty reminiscent to any, old school 90s arcade game where when there's a lot going on the screen, it lags up. Now, this doesn't affect gameplay at all. It only happens when you defeat a boss, but it's just something that I noticed and something that I like to see. Now, as far as unlocks in this game, there's not much aside from the amount of continues and lives that you could have. The more you play, the more you earn. That's the way it works. Either you beat the game or you just keep playing it to unlock more and more stuff. Although there's not a whole lot to unlock. There are a decent amount of achievements for Ikaruga on the Xbox 360. One of the better achievements that I liked was the Dot Eater achievement. In order to get this achievement, you have to go through a level without firing a single bullet or releasing your energy. Some players don't like this because it shows how the game works. The game is pretty much on a rail. Everything moves in a pattern, so you can memorize patterns, but it's still hard. Come on. It's probably one of the hardest top-down shooters to reach this side of the world. Well, guys, that's about it for Ikaruga for the Xbox 360 Live Arcade. I'm actually going to give this game a 90% out of 100, along with a 5 out of 5 Lonnie face. This game costs 800 Microsoft points. To pick up points, you can always check out VideoGameCentral.com. Check to the right of this video, inside of the video description, for a link. Guys, also be sure to check out the Gamer's Voice blog and podcast. There's also a link to that inside of the video description. If you like this review, please be sure to subscribe to us. We pump these things out every week. Alright, I'm Sweet Johnny Cage. Thanks for watching my review of Ikaruga for the Xbox 360 Live Arcade. Peace.